then out here seeing people like Lathan, Denzel, everybody, couldn't ask for anything else.
The weather's not very Arizona-like.
I mean, I kind of like it, honestly.
Okay.
It's a little different, but
Devin said that, maybe it was a transition for some of these Arizona guys. You seem comfortable with that.
yeah, I kind of like it right now.
How's the rest of the transition going? A month of workouts and all that?
I mean, it's kind of like my high school. The intensity just ramped up a little bit more. I mean, Coach G and all them over there at Chandler, they did everything they could to teach me, and it's really translated over to being out here and doing what I'm doing now.
What do you think has there been anything that has surprised you, tougher than you thought? Or?
I mean, really just the pace of the warm-ups, I would say. It's a little bit faster, so you got to kind of pick it up and get with them.
We've always had great wide receivers around here going back years, but it's really ramped up the last few years. What's your thoughts on that and just kind of becoming a modern wide receiver the last few years?
I mean, the one thing I want to do is try and be one of them. I mean, we're trying to pick it up. We plan on having 2 guys go out this year, 2 guys go out next year, and we're going to keep that going, kind of like how Chris and Garrett is doing right now.
Okay, did you watch Jackson's performance in the Rose Bowl, and just what were your impressions of that?
Man, that's like a receiver's dream. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, could have been 4, could have been 400 yards. I mean, that's anything a receiver could ask for. So,
what were your impressions of Marvin's performance? Because it was his first start with guys like Chris and Garrett out, and just him being a true freshman.
I already knew Marvin was going to do his thing. Marvin is a freak of nature. So, I mean, I already knew he was going to go out there and do what he had to do.
Jackson came in pretty polished when it came to running routes. You seem to be a little bit on that same trajectory. What can you take from him, the way he's risen through just 2 years to get to, for you to get to that point, not just 2 years, but maybe this year?
The one thing I can do is just learn from him. I mean, we come out here, we catch often with CJ and all them. So, I mean, learning from him, Mech, Marv, all these different people, the one thing I can do is take from them and just learn as much as I can.
Kyion, CJ mentioned that he felt that you were a little lowly rated. Is that something that you pay attention to or use as a motivation?
I mean, I mainly use it as motivation simply because, like, I know how good I can be, and I don't really look at that much because ratings don't really show who you are. And so, I mean, just being able to come here, that shows a lot.
Appreciate it.
What have your interactions with Devin been like? Because he's mentioned, he's getting familiar with, his new teammates and whatnot. Just what are your impressions of him?
Oh, Devin's a great quarterback. He throws some great balls. Me and him have been catching almost every other day. So, I mean, Devin's a great person. I mean, he's fun to be around. What more can you ask for?
And what makes Brian Hartline so appealing, the best wide receivers in the country?
His teachers. Everyone tells you about his teachers. I've been with Johnny Dixon, Harris Campbell, all these different people, and they've always told me about how great of a teacher he is, how great of a coach he is. I mean, the way he is during recruitment is the way he is now. He doesn't change. So.
We've heard about C.J. Stroud's connection with Jackson's winning big boat. Is that a goal between you and Devin to develop that sort of energy and coming in at the same time?
Oh, that's for sure. That's a must.
What is kind of sort of the impression you want to make going into your first year? What do you want Buckeye Nation to know about Kyion Grayes?
Well, really, I just want them to know that I'm a very hard-working kid, and I mean, great person on and off the field, no matter what the situation is.
It takes a little self-assuredness to come to the receiver room here. There's a confidence necessary for entry. Where does that come from for you? And when you see the group that has come through here the last few years, and they recruited you, they wanted you to be a part of it, how has that boosted your self-belief?
I mean, really, just coming from my high school, they taught me a lot about being accountable, and like, no matter how hard I would play, if I do something wrong, maybe it's a little thing, not put behind the line, just off the ball when I'm supposed to be on, like just simple stuff, they take me out. And that's made me learn how to compete and make sure I do everything right, especially the little things. So I mean, that's boosted my confidence a lot.
I know it's very early, but just your general impressions of the Ryan Day offense. How would you, I know it's early, but how would you describe the Ryan Day offense?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I've only learned the formation so far, but from what I'm hearing, it's crazy.
Related to that, when you watch the Rose Bowl, what went through your mind?
Oh, that was just, man, watching CJ fling that thing around, there was nothing more you could ask for.
Then having a receiver catch 8 miles worth of passes.
I just can't even. I just see myself doing that. And I just can't wait to be able to do it.
Is there an element that's already begun with the guys coming back? Obviously, you're still getting no quarterbacks, but is there an element that's already begun of study, of trying to figure out what makes this group unique?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, every day we come out and catch. I'll be out here with Meg, Marv. I'm just watching them, seeing how they've developed from their freshman year to now, and like I'm trying to learn from them and try and figure out how Coach Hart teaches his stuff and how it's different.
How is it?
I mean, it's just little things like maybe getting out of your breaks in 3 steps instead of 4 or 5. It's mainly just little things around. It's misdirection, head movement, stuff like that.
Everybody sees CJ throwing to Jackson. They see Garrett and Chris getting ready to be first-round picks. When you look at guys like Mecca, who can play anywhere, chose to come here and get developed and probably not see the field a lot as a freshman. What are your impressions of Emeka and the way he's developing so far?
Oh, Emeka, me and him have been lifting together almost every day. And the one thing he does, he always pushes me, and I always try to push him. And that dude is, when it comes down to it, you're always going to get your best out of him, no matter what the situation is. He's always happy, always bright. There's nothing more you can ask out of him.
Is there something out of watching Emeka and lifting with Emeka that you're like, okay, there's something I need to change in my game to kind of get to that level, or is it just kind of challenging you, like, yeah, I can get there one day?
Yeah, basically, it kind of challenged me. Like, he challenges me every day to be better and pick up my tempo when it comes to the weight room and stuff like that.
What do you see in, like, whether it's from Emeka or Marvin? Like, I mean, watching them on TV or watching them kind of, if you've seen him, like, catch balls from quarterbacks or whatever, like, since you've been here, I mean, what do you see from their, I guess, progression or their ability to do what you do? Or is there something that you're like, is there something different, or is it something just a little more farther along?
I mean, the one thing about both of them, they're all about their business, and they always like to make sure that they're on top of their stuff. All they do is work, and the one thing I try to do is make sure that I'm with them every single time they go do that, so I can up my game right there with them.
You've been a little bit of a smaller receiver compared to some of the other guys in your class. Is there a goal weight that you want to get to? Is there a thing that Mick has set for you already, or are you still in the early stages of that?
They set me at 180, but I feel like I can break 185 before season starts.
Is that eating everything you see, or is that
That's
good
just
food?
Eating everything I see. I don't really got no specific diet. I just kind of eat anything that I
But they want you to put a little bit of weight on?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot made about the brotherhood. You haven't been here that long, but have you been able to, see that and what people are talking about from the outside?
For sure. I mean, that's the one reason why I came here. It's like a family. Everyone's all in. And if you're not all in, then what's the point?
It seems like that kind of family has started with, the early enrollees together. They were a bunch of guys who've been talking about a group chat that you guys had. Do you feel closer with these guys coming in before you guys were actually together in person, or what was that like for you?
I mean, I did, and the crazy part is I feel closer with the whole team, too. Like, yeah. I'm very comfortable around all of them. And it's kind of crazy because most of the time you come in and you're not really sure. Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to keep my distance. But, I mean, I feel like I'm already a part of the brotherhood, and I just got here.
Is there an older guy that kind of represented that for you? Or?
There's a lot of them. Yeah. One of them that I gotta say though is Julian Fleming. That's one guy, Julian.
Oh, okay.
He's taken me under his wing, taught me all that he knows so far. So
because he's had a little bit.
Julian, sorry, it's hard to hear you.
Yeah,
instruction. Julian,
yes sir.
He's kind of been, had his own level of journey, whether it's injury, waiting his turn, and things like that. Do you sense kind of what is it about his leadership style that kind of stands out?
I mean, he just pushes me kind of like Emeka does, and you couldn't ask for anything else out of someone who's like a big brother figure to you. So.
When you walk in here and you see the national championships, the Big Ten championships, you go in the atrium and there's all the trophies. Is it like, wow, I'm at Ohio State, or is it something else?
It's something that, how can I say it? So when it comes down to it, that's something that we want to do as a class and as a team. Like, we want to be able to put our year up there, and we want to be able to put these trophies in the trophy case. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm not a hard no. It's just like, we want to be able to do that.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That's all. I love how tough and how gritty he is whenever he's out in the field. Like, anytime the ball's in the air, it's his.
Yeah.
Regardless of his size, it don't matter. It's always going to be his ball.
Is that kind of, I mean, do you feel like that's been done here? Like, I mean, in terms of, like, do you sense, like, because there's a lot of guys, like, in circles, like, they're like, yeah, Chris Olave, right? Is that something that you see in yourself, is to be like, okay, I want to be like Chris Olave, maybe not the fastest, maybe not the strongest, maybe not, but like a possession guy, like consistency. Is that someone you see in yourself, or?
I mean, honestly, I see myself as a yards after catch type of guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some people don't think I'm fast, but it don't matter.
Yeah.
I know what I can do when I get the ball in my hands. And that's really all that matters.
What are the biggest things that you think are going to stand out about your game when people watch you play?
I just say being able to catch the ball, make a move on the first guy, and get up out of there. That's really it.
So, to that point, like, are you an X? Are you a Z? Are you a slot? Where do they see you in this offense?
I'm wherever they want to put me. Really, I can play inside. I can play out. I'm more of a hybrid receiver, so I'm learning the whole offense and go wherever Coach Hart wants me.
What's your best trait as a wide receiver?
Really, I would just say my ability to create separation. I find different ways and different angles to make myself open, no matter what the situation is.
Devin was saying that he wants to be a leader right away. Are you already seeing Devin become a leader of your class?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing as him. I mean, that's one thing that I want to do. That's one thing that CJ wants to do. So we're all trying to establish ourselves as leaders off rip.
How do you do that?
We really we push guys, make sure they do everything right, make sure we're doing everything right first off, and then, yeah, just from there we keep pushing them.
How many passes have you caught from Devin?
Too many to count at this point.
Yeah. What stands out about his delivery, his zip on the ball, whatever you want to call it? What makes him to be, recently he's been named the #1 recruit of the class, nation. Why? What stands out about him from your vantage point?
The ball comes out fast and hard. And it's always where you want it to be.
Yeah. Jackson Smith and Jigba, what can you take from his game that will drive you?
His ways of creating separation too. I mean, I watch what he does every single day.
Yeah.
Every single time we come out here and catch, I'm watching to see what he's doing, how he's doing it, and trying to steal some of his tricks and have them in mind.
It's funny when you watch video of him, even on plays where he's not maybe the primary, he seems to be wide open.
Always.
What do you think's the trick there?
I'd say just going hard even when the ball's not coming your way.
Yeah.
Keep the DB on their toes.
How much are you guys already coming out and throwing and catching the ball?
Wait, what happened? Repeat that.
How much are you guys already coming out and throwing and catching the ball?
Almost every other day.
We talked with Devin, and you mentioned how he describes Caleb Burton as electric. Do you see that, whether it's on or off the field? What are your impressions of Caleb?
Always. I love Caleb. I mean, the one thing we do is I try to push him to be the best version of himself he can be, no matter what we're doing, whether it's in the weight room, on the field, always.